It was at that point that the Sixers blew it and DeGrom was out that I texted Chris Brockman, maybe we need to have a seance tomorrow. Maybe we need to have a seance tomorrow for TJ Jefferson's sports teams because he needed it. Because here comes the Clippers. Here comes the Clippers minus Kawhi strolling onto the court in Utah. We needed a seance. You and I were coming up with ways to have some ideas. That's why, Mike Del Tufo, I asked you if you had a popcorn machine at home so we could use a popcorn machine as part of a seance because you don't have a popcorn machine. You don't have a popcorn machine. I have a popcorn machine. The only guy who's got a popcorn machine is waiting for it on The Price is Right now, 2 months.
We were going to go Office Space and just go outside and smash it.
Smash something, whatever. The nice parting gift for TJ Jefferson, we were going to use that to try and help him, but also zing him because he still is waiting for his parting gift from The Price is Right that he earned. He earned every kernel of that popcorn machine's going to pop.
Wow. What did I do?
You didn't choose the middle key. But let's do another day. Another day. Because we were thinking TJ needs a hug. That was right around the time we were thinking, let's call the authorities to see if he's okay.
Well, because then it was looking like the Jazz were taking control of the game, and you were going to go 0 for 3 with DeGrom yesterday.
Did we mention that the Mets got the dub?
But kudos. I am pleased to be able to say this. I never got any pleasure in pointing out what was the obvious of him not stepping up. Playoff P.
Showed up.
Holy cow. PG 13 was rated X last night.
For sex.
He was fantastic. Paul George minus Kawhi. We had Perk on this show yesterday, Kendrick Perkins on this show yesterday. And he did say that this series would be over in 6 minus Kawhi. We all thought it. And I even just decided one last shot here with him. Like, what are the Clippers thinking right now in their Utah hotel room, or what Ty Lue is saying? And he talked about how the Celtics once upon a time were minus KG and they pushed the eventual Eastern Conference champion Orlando Magic to a 7th game and did not win it. Well, that's the worst the Clippers can now do as a 7th game, because Paul George was one of those Clippers that looked himself in the mirror and, just like Game of Thrones, said, "Not today." How about you, Paul George? The only NBA star whose name is half the Beatles had a little help from his friends. Marcus Morris Sr. and Reggie Jackson. They looked themselves in the mirror and said, "Not today." And those are words that Clipper fans rarely hear walked as well. They've heard it talked, but man, do they rarely ever see it walked, which is why I will say, and I feel comfortable saying this, having been in this town since 2003 and knowing so many Clipper fans, present company excluded, TJ, I feel comfortable in saying that was the greatest win in the history of this franchise. Period. End of story. They've never made it to the Western Conference Finals. This team looked dead in the water against the Mavs to make this series, and then they lose Kawhi? And they lose Kawhi with an injury that appears to be so significant, they're going to lose Kawhi till deep into 2022. They absorb that information, go on that home court in that environment, and ball out like that? You can't just say in the Clippers, well, hey, there was this one time in the Western Conference Finals, there was that one time in the NBA Finals. Those don't exist. Those don't exist. Game 6s for Clippers fans are Bermuda Triangles. Strange poop happens against them. Last night, They looked into the abyss and said, not today. And Paul George is the guy who did it. Pandemic P, all of that stuff. The guy who was the man in Indiana and then was sent to Oklahoma City and then felt comfortable there and he was supposed to be the superstar there. Then we all know he decided to stay with Russ, smoking cigars, telling LeBron no. And we all wondered, what's he thinking? Staying there. He stays there. He doesn't do anything there. Lillard waves bye-bye to him there. And he waves bye-bye to them, saying, I want out. I want to go to Los Angeles with Kawhi. And then we all say goodbye to them in the bubble last year, despite being up 3-1. Maybe this is his moment. How about you, Paul George? How about you? That was great. That was awesome. That was so unexpected and so terrific to see, with all due respect to Utah fans. Paul George, 40 minutes. 40 minutes, 37, 16, and 11. From the free throw line, he makes 10 of them. 5 assists. 37, 16, and 5.
It might be the best game he's ever played in the biggest moment where it needed to happen most.
And the franchise's biggest win ever. Name me another one. Name me another one. You know him. Name me another one. Give me another one.
Well,
what could come close?
I would say, there was a game in like 14 when we beat the Spurs in the playoffs, and another great, huge, in Clippers lore, comeback against Oklahoma City. But when you said never been to the Western Conference Finals, that made me change my mind. It was like, you know what? You're probably right. This probably is the biggest.
Name me another one. Kawhi's out. They're dead in the water. Paul George isn't going to be able to do it.
It was definitely the most satisfying win in a long time.
Ever? I can't imagine a more satisfying win. I know that they went up on Houston 3-2 before before Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah.
I guess. And I know they have been up 3-2 before.
Like you're talking about
I get it. But this has got to feel different. Now, of course, Utah could come in and win this next one and then
don't want to go back.
What I'm saying doesn't age well, but
I don't want to go back to Utah, man.
No way. No way. Paul George has got to do it again.
And Friday night in LA, it's going to be the first Clipper game with a full house. Staples is going to be packed.
That's right. No cardboard cutouts.
No cardboard cutouts. I don't know.
Unfortunately, though,
you got that one, Hoskins? You know what I'm thinking.
Here we go.
You know what I'm thinking, because there's no cardboard cutouts. And the last time we saw cardboard cutouts in Staples, it was indicative of the way we felt about this series once Kawhi Leonard was hurt. Over.
I don't know, man. Like, you asked me that yesterday, how I felt. And I said, guys got to step up. And they stepped up.
You know what? It was amazing.
It was great to watch.
Last night, we were wondering who could unlock the car in Game 5 without Kawhi. Who could look at all 5 keys and choose the middle one?
Reggie Jackson.
And Marcus Morris.
Marcus Morris didn't even seem like he
Paul
missed.
George. They got the popcorn machine. They got the ping pong table.
The motorcycles.
They got it all.
The 2 Harleys and the telescope.
And instead, this series is not over.
Jeez.
It is not.
Now on, it's all about the Larry O.B.
T.J. Jefferson alive and well today.
Oh, yeah.
And DeGrom says it's nothing. And Doc says they're going to push it back to a Game 7. It's all good. It's all good. But I got to tell you, folks, right around 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, we were all wondering where the belts and shoelaces in T.J. Jefferson's house was. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.